What's up, Misfits? I'm Misfit Midas, and today we're continuing the Siege Beginner Basics series and talking about how to set up CCTV cache on Clubhouse. Like the gym setup, this is a fairly simple strat designed for newer players, but we'll talk about modifications for band operators and more advanced teams near the end of the video. So if you're an experienced player, just hang around. We're going to walk through the setup on paper, talk about the operators and gadgets that you'll need with some alternate options if they get banned. We'll show off the setup and then watch it played out in a ranked game. If you haven't watched my strat video on gym and bedroom, then here's a reminder that Clubhouse offers plenty of space for roaming defenders, but also plenty of key cutoffs for attackers that know how to play the map well. Because of this strat still focuses on key crossfires and refrags without stranding too many players out and away from sight. Before we start into the site setup though, I want to walk through some key callouts and default plant spots for this site. Of course, these callouts and plant spots may vary per team, so just know that this is what my stack uses. First, inside garage, the rafters area up top is huge, so we break it down into a few specific callouts. Top stairs, R1, R2, 90, R3, and window. R standing for rafters, of course, and then the number standing for the hard piece for cover from left to right. This info is crucial when trying to communicate where on rafters players are. Additionally, at the bottom of garage is a connecting area between garage and lounge. You might hear this referred to as secret, but my stack calls it dark. Well, because it's dark and it's easier to say. The balcony outside CCTV window we refer to as highway, and then the CCTV wall you can refer to as CC wall or balcony or plat wall balcony. The default plant spot you'll hear referred to on this map is right next to the CCTV bomb. Because this is default, depending on the situation with remaining defenders, C4s, fire, or smoke on the board, and map control, you might also see some people plant what they call tuck against red because it's a spot that's unlikely to be pre-C4'd without info. Before we get started into the strategy, I also think it's important to talk about how most attacking teams attack. Most attacking teams pushing this site will attempt to isolate and kill the garage player or players, get control of garage, open the platter CCTV wall, then cut off red and cache doors, protect from C4 below, and then attempt to plant default in CCTV. Some teams might push across the map on the opposite side from construction, gym, and bedroom, but that's not as common. This strat is designed to play against the default CCTV attack. Now that we've got the basics of this area on Clubhouse covered, let's get started on the strat. The 5 operators you're going to want for this strat are Smoke, Cade, Wamai, Mute, and Fenrir. For secondary gadgets, Smoke and Wamai will bring Breepers, Cade and Mute will bring C4s, and Fenrir will bring a bulletproof camera for CCTV. With this lineup, the team will have a good mix of info or warning devices, and multiple C4s and smokes to stop default plant. Smoke's main role during setup is creating the majority of the holes you see spread across site. These include the head holes into garage designed to allow the garage player to hold deep to breach, holes below looking down onto main door and lounge stock door designed to help support the roaming player below against attackers trying to stop the wall from below, holes for C4s and smokes from cache onto default plant and CCTV, and then a rotate and throw holes top red to prevent a construction side push late in the round. Smoke's 2 beepers will go in construction and on bottom red as early warning devices. Cade's setup is pretty simple. Cade reinforces main wall and top red wall, places his 2 Cade claws on top red and inside garage if your Cade player isn't comfortable tricking, or if he is comfortable tricking, place one on the wall and then keep one in the pocket for the trick. And remember, if your Cade player is tricking the wall, that will require both Wamidas and CC to prevent the nade from highway, and the player below to prevent attackers from controlling too much of downstairs to affect his trick from downstairs. Wamai, like Cade, has an easy setup for CCTV. Wamai reinforces 2 of the bottom garage walls and rafters wall, then as his discs are charged up, places them on top red drone hole and CCTV windows first, and then uses his remainder in garage as that's where he'll be playing the rest of the round. These will allow him time to charge them and will prevent Capitao or other attackers from flushing him out of garage. His beepers will go on dark and near breach wall. Although some players prefer Jaeger, I prefer using Wamai on this site because Capitao is incredibly strong on the CCTV push. Mute will place jammers on con single wall, top red, cache single wall, and red drone hole, all designed to either prevent drones on the red side of the map or from an easy breach by the attackers on the construction side. He will then move to garage and get the other 2 garage walls below before moving into lounge, dark, and blue to roam and play late round C4. These jammers can definitely be substituted for other operators, which we'll talk about later in the video. However, these jams are decided to stop drones and the push or an easy attack from the attackers on the opposite side of the map. Last but not least, Fenrir. Fenrir will reinforce both construction sidewalls and places gadgets on red stairs, con cash door, rafters 90, and garage door to outside. The Fenrir player will have to manually control these gadget switches due to his ability to only activate 2 at a time and needs to pay attention to the rest of the team's info to know when to switch these around mid-round. Okay, so now that we've got the setup down, let's talk about where everyone's going to play during the round. Smoke will play inside cash and use the holes he made during setup to support the player below by preventing movement out of stock into lounge or from front door into lounge. The Smoke can also rotate to red stairs and hold down into top blue as required also. Cade will play in CCTV to trick the wall if your Cade player is comfortable with that, or to support the garage player and play cams for his team if he's not. Now is a great time for my weekly plug to say that if your stack doesn't have a cams player, even though it's boring, you need to get one. This one tip will literally make a world of difference in your gameplay in ranked. Wamai will play inside garage and is tasked with preventing the attacker's push into garage from the door and helping Kaid hold CCTV breach if it gets opened up by the attackers. Wamai specifically needs to pay attention as his discs recharge so they can keep throwing them throughout garage to stop any utility the attackers might push onto him or onto the player tricking the wall through garage window. As we talked about earlier, Mute will roam below inside lounge, dark, and top blue to prevent the attackers from getting control of below during the round. And Mute needs to work with Wamai and Smoke to control crossfires, and then also remember to save his C4 for default plant late into the round. Fenrir will roam on the bedroom and construction side of the map to delay any push by the attackers from that side. He can always shoot drones and fall off back towards side if he's pressured too much though, while still being mindful of highway windows and the attacker's ability to cut him off if misplayed. There are a few key angles that everyone on the team should know going into the round to help with crossfires. First, the angle from green box and cash to garage stairs and breach. This angle allows the cash player to support the garage push up the stairs or help hold breach late into the round. Second, the cash holes deep into bottom floor. These again allow for mutual support between your top floor and bottom floor players. Finally, the long angle for the attackers from outside bottom garage wall to the window and garage. This angle allows them to control rotates on the window and use their utility on the CCTV wall without being pressured. Now that we've talked about the strategy and the setup, we're going to watch the strat executed from around the Misfits played on stream a while back. Most of the operators are the same with minor tweaks, but the concept and the setup generally remain the same. Sit back, relax, and enjoy, and we'll talk about operator shakeups and an advanced setup for more experienced players right after the round. Last one's destructional, I think. Let's see, this guy, how do you get this many viewers? Well, 5.5 hours ago, I got raided by Jinxie. And we've been rocking it since then, and it's been awesome. It's been a freaking blast tonight.
I have a shield again.
What part? Yeah, it was freaking awesome, Chris.
Wall. Map lit on wall.
Go off. I think they bucked up in tub side.
And Logi, I got one. Ramp coming in.
Traded.
Last was on wall.
Last was wall.
Killed Glazerfeld.
We just play safe. Play safe.
It's mad.
Nah, it's glass. Frank, right?
Oh, it's last.
Yeah, Matt is dead. Or glass. Sorry. We can just play safe here.
Cali.
It's Cali. Alright, Ski Mask. Good night, dude. I appreciate checking out.
Don't you dare.
No, you do it. No, you do it, X. X. If we throw this, this is where it starts, X. X. Oh, good bait.
Oh, man.
Alright, that's our last one for the night, boys. Thanks for playing, though. Okay, now that you've seen how it plays out in ranked, let's talk about some of the operator change-ups that you can do based either on personal preference or bans inside the game. Kaid can be switched out with Bandit or Two-Brow. However, with the Bandit, the tricking is definitely far more susceptible to the attacker's ability to deny it from below or outside. The Smoke or Mute can also be switched out with a Zombie to help hold Rafters just a bit better, pushing the wall Mai to a different part of the map and switching with a Zombie. The Kiva barriers that the Zombie brings will definitely make Rafters safer to play inside of and also enable a Zombie to close up angles the attackers might be using from main breach in Garage. If you or your team want to try a more advanced setup, you can also forego some of the bottom garage walls on the lounge side and then reinforce tub wall on the far west side of the map and attempt a more aggressive hold that direction if the teams you're facing likes to push from that side. Just make sure to bring the utility over to help you hold that portion of the map. The more you extend on sites like this, the more advanced or coordinated your teams need to be. Just remember the key areas you need to control to stop the attackers. They're going to eventually take garage, that's just usually how it goes. But if you save your utility and have C4s in position in cache or below, or smokes or fire from cache, then you can still burn time without needing too much control. It's all about knowing when to give up portions of the map and then when you need to hold them to help your team. Well, hopefully this strat has given you some ideas when it comes to defending CCTV cache on Clubhouse. It's a simpler strat designed for beginners and newer teams, but if you're comfortable with the site as a group, you can definitely spice it up by using some alternative operators we talked about or extending deeper below or farther across towards gem depending on the attacking team's playstyle. Be sure to like and subscribe for more strat videos and highlight reels in the coming weeks. And if you want to watch live gameplay with a Misfit Gaming rank stack, be sure to check out Misfit Midas on Twitch at the link in the description below at 8 p.m. MST several days a week. Now let's get out there and get some elo. Top blue. Bathroom bad, one, last one laundry. Let's go!